There is a kind of love that the world rarely speaks about, the love that is not born from a need, the love that's not born from searching or any kind of longing. And this is not about the love that is born from emptiness, need, or fear, but it's the love that you attract into your life when you awaken and when you remember who you truly are in a very spiritual sense. And Vedanta calls this the love between two awakened beings. And in this video, we are really going to talk about what this love is all about. How can you have the highest level of divine union with your counterpart? So, if you're new here, I'm Vesh and I'm a men's coach and I help men heal with their traumas, attachment issues, and wounded masculinity in order for them to pursue meaningful connection with women. Now, if you want to work on your masculine energy and confidence when it comes to interacting with other people, even women, you can find the course that I have created in the link in the description box below. And apart from this, if you want to book a one-on-one consultation with me, you can reach out to me through Instagram, DM me the keyword coach so that I know you're reaching out to book a consultation with me. So, without any further ado, let's get into the video. So, first, I want to talk about the myth of the other half. Growing up, we are always made to believe that we are incomplete by ourselves. Relationship is the highest goal that's actually there in our life because marriages are given so much importance, even in society as well. And we are told that we need to look for our other half, making us believe that we are incomplete. There is something wrong within us that if we do not have that other half, that maybe life is actually not going the way it possibly should. But Vedanta says completely different, that you are never broken, you are not incomplete, you are not a half of a half as well. You are Purnam, that means you're whole. And this state of not knowing that you are complete by yourself is a state of avidya where you are actually forgetting your true nature. And from this ignorance, we actually enter into a relationship expecting someone to actually fill that hole within us. We are seeking for someone to soothe the pain of loneliness that we have gone through in our entire life. Having the thought that, okay, maybe if I find my person, I would actually get out of this misery and get out of this state of loneliness within me. But when you actually attract a relationship from this state, you are attracting a relationship that's going to be codependent, that's going to feel heavy, that is going to feel unstable. And especially in the time and era that we are living in, everyone has mental health issues. Everyone had mental health issues back in the days during our parents' generation as well, but nobody gave it that much importance. But right now, we have the awareness and the tools to actually work on it. So, we are in a collective timing where we have the resources to actually find and remember our wholeness back. And when you have traumas, right, what essentially is happening is you're disconnected from that love and light within you. You're disconnected from the light of your soul, and your soul is a fraction of God. So when you go through trauma, you feel that you are unlovable, you are not enough, you are lonely. There is something inherently wrong within you. And when you think of yourself in this way, you are essentially disconnected from that life. You are disconnected from that state of wholeness, also known as Purnam. So, your entire life, your entire human birth is actually there for you to find that wholeness. It's for you to get to that state of inner bliss when you remember your true nature. Now, let's talk about why most relationship actually begins in need. We look for a partner to soothe our loneliness most of the times. We look for a partner because we are tired of being alone. We look for a partner because we have never experienced love in our lives. And then you get into a relationship from a place of need because you are actually using the other person to fill that void within you. And who actually tries to fill that void within themselves? Only someone who feels they are incomplete, they are not whole by themselves. So, when you're carrying traumas, you will end up attracting someone who is possibly toxic or who is possibly emotionally unavailable or narcissistic, who are actually going to cause you pain. And this pain is for your highest evolution. This pain is for you to actually realize and find that love within you, the kind of love that you're seeking from outside. One of the biggest purpose of our human birth is actually to become that embodiment of love within yourself. And you can't do that by actually depending on someone else to complete you. So when you are carrying those traumas, you will get attracted to someone who's in that same psychological wounding frequency as you are in to teach you a lesson. And from this place, what happens is when you get those lessons enough and more times, you end up despising the other gender altogether. But you don't realize that it's your own unconscious wounds that drew this person towards you because you were an energetic match for the person who hurt you. And oftentimes, these relationships actually go into a state of one person chasing the other person, begging the other person to choose them. Also, where you start pleading the other person to actually make you feel worthy, pleading the other person to finally make you feel seen and validated. And only a person who truly does not know who they are actually depends on someone else to tell them who they are. And this is where most of the humanity actually lives, in relationships that are actually coping mechanisms and not love. And yes, in our previous generation, in our parents' generation, divorces were not that common, for sure. But you can see that a longevity of a relationship does not actually determine the success of the relationship. How long a relationship lasts has nothing to do with the quality of the relationship in itself. And most of the times, our parents actually put up with that relationship because they had no other option but to actually go through that. And this was their relationship karma. This is a journey that their soul actually chose to go through, and they were born in such a time. But we are in a time where divorces are on a all-time high. And this is also because there's a split. Some people are awakening where they feel that they do not need to put up with the bare minimum. And on the other side, the other people who are getting separated, they are living in a state of avoidance where they don't want to look within, and exiting a relationship actually feels like an easier escape than to look at the pain that's there within. Because healing is a very difficult process. Not everyone has the power and bandwidth to even go through healing, because healing requires you sitting with your pain, you emptying out the emotional bank that you have collected over past many years. And it is a very painful thing to actually revisit the past, sit through that pain, process it out and empty it out. I have seen this with my clients where they reach out to me like few weeks after the session and they're like, they're in such a horrible state, and I actually encourage them, like, go through this for the next few weeks and you will come out on the other side as a completely changed person. You have to walk through that fire, you have to feel all the things that you did not feel in order for you to heal yourself. And when you come out on the other side, you come out like a completely new different person who is fully in love with himself, because he has seen himself going through shit, he has witnessed his emotions. And relationships are the biggest catalyst for you to actually heal. The person you attract into a life is actually a mirror of the wounds that you are carrying within you. They are actually giving you a reality check saying that wake up, love is inside you and love is not outside you. Stop looking for that love in someone else and start becoming the embodiment of love that you always were. You were never broken. You were made to believe that you are broken. You were never unlovable. You were made to believe that you are unlovable. A lot of this has to do with the outer circumstances that you were born into, and a lot of this also has to do with what we thought of ourselves as a result of those circumstances. Now, Vedanta says that you don't search for fullness outside because you have forgotten that you are fullness. You don't look for completion outside of you because you were never broken in the very first place. You were always whole. And this is the truth that Vedanta actually teaches us about love, that nobody can actually complete what is never broken in the very first place. And the whole process of you healing is remembering that there was nothing wrong with you in the very first place, getting rid of all the conditioning, all the wounds, because these wounds were created, you are not born with it. And it's a process of returning back into that state of fullness, into that state of wholeness, into that state of love, that little child within you. And when you remember who you are, when you are not seeking someone else to complete a hole within you, you actually stop chasing people who aren't good for you. You don't require someone to soothe your loneliness. And it's when you have this level of autonomy, and it's when you also have this level of wholeness within you, you are even okay being by yourself, because nobody's presence or nobody's absence is actually shaking your core and is actually shaking your foundation. And from this frequency, you can only attract a person into your life who is also in that state of wholeness. Because, as I said, two people in the same frequency will attract each other. If you are traumatized, you will attract someone who has complementary traumas. But if you are healed and if you are in that state of wholeness, you will attract someone who is in that state of wholeness, because unconsciously you will never even be attracted to someone who is not good for you, because you remember who you are and you know that you don't have to put up with all these bare minimum shit. And when you go into that state of remembrance, when you awaken into your own wholeness, you don't seek love as a nourishment to fill your soul because you can tap into that state of love. Have you ever tried to meditate and have you ever felt that sensation of love? And I know a lot of you guys haven't felt that. If you're able to tap into that love, into a state of meditation, and even when you're just sitting, when you're just looking at a sunset, when you're in nature, let me tell you one thing, that is a very high level skill that not a lot of people can actually do. When you're just sitting and when you're like in love with yourself, when you feel that state of wholeness in your heart area, it's like your heart chakra is like fully opening. This sensation is so incredible, and it's not something that a lot of people can actually experience. It is something only people who try to experience and who go in search with that love within themselves can actually experience. And when you experience all these things, you don't look for anything outside of you. You stop clinging to people, you stop needing people, you are not attached to any outcome because you are truly in that state of peace. And this peace can actually only come when you work on healing your traumas first. And then you tap into that state of pure bliss. And this is where you have like supernatural experiences when you're actually in that state of meditation. And you're no longer in a relationship because you're scared to be alone. You are in a relationship because you make a conscious choice to actually build your life with this person. And this person who comes into your life in this state of wholeness, this is like two awakened souls, two whole souls actually meeting each other. And two whole people, when they come together, they actually form a bigger whole circle. It's not that two people are half and half coming to fit into each other. It's just two wholeness merging into oneness to actually become a bigger state of wholeness. And you don't merge with each other out of insecurity, and you don't also ask the other person to heal the wounds that you are not ready to face, putting blame on the other person, not taking accountability. All these things do not happen because you guys are in a conscious relationship. And in these relationships, there is devotion towards each other, but not a sense of dependency. There is a sense of unity between these two people, but not till the place where you lose yourself to take care of the other person. There is also great intimacy in this relationship, but there's no sense of insecurity in these relationships. And this is where love actually becomes a path towards liberation, where the right relationship actually does not ask you to change who you are as a person. It does not ask you to be inauthentic, but it connects you back with your core essence and it makes you remember who you truly were all along. It brings you back to your most authentic self. It expands you as a person. And this is a relationship where the devotion you guys have towards each other actually melts that ego, that humility melts that pride that people are carrying in these relationships these days. And also, this is a place where, you can fall apart, but the repair is so strong that every time you come back, you are actually moving into a new timeline as a couple together as well. And awakened love is not about completing each other. It's about identifying the self in the other person. It's also about seeing the divinity within you as well as the other person, where you truly remember that you guys are not separate from each other. You guys are from the same source. You guys are from the same divine source. Here to actually remember the path back to yourself. And the Upanishad says, Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati, where everything is loved for the sake of self. You don't love someone because you need them to complete something within you. You love someone because you see self in them. And self means your higher self, your soul. And this is what an awakened love is all about, consciousness actually meeting consciousness, wholeness meeting wholeness. And this is the center of an awakened union, which very few people are actually going to experience in this life. I'm not going to lie about it. You have to do some intense inner work to reach that state of love where you actually go through a process of ego dissolution. And in any healthy relationships, any conscious relationships, it's all about both of you surrendering your ego. It's both of you actually coming down to your knees because of the love that you have for each other. And every time the ego steps back, the self comes forward. And this is the place from where you actually build a conscious relationship, not to fill a void, but to understand the mystery of seeing self in another form, in another person. So, I hope this episode was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.